Hello, everyone. This is your girl Shanidra with Beyond the Cover. Yes. Now, today's topic is who are you following? Who are you following? And who or what are you submitting to? Because, we have to figure this out. So you would not be in the boat that the people in Jeremiah are in. So, this is about to go deep, get deep up in here. So I'm going to need you guys to get your COVID-proof mugs off of the website at cportraitsmagazine.com and also get your journals. Yes, in the flesh. So you're going to need both of these because when I say you're going to want to take notes, you need to take notes. Basically, the things that I tell you guys is possibly either some of the things that I may be dealing with or I've seen others complain to me about or whatever. Or I'm learning as y'all are learning. So, again, this is no judgment zone. This is just to help you zone. So you can get some act right. So you can get it right with the Lord. So I'm going to make it fun. But first, again, as we always do, we're going to get into our catalog. And we have more clothes that are coming, more fall vibrant clothes. I'm not going to tell you too much, but I'm so excited about it. So enjoy this catalog and just know that it will be updated. So here we go.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
All right, so I'm going to show you guys the outfit of today. Now, today's outfit is this wonderful, beautiful jumpsuit. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see it, but this is a wonderful, beautiful jumpsuit. Wow, at first it was blue. Look at that. So this wonderful, beautiful jumpsuit. As you can see, it's light right here, and it has these type of sleeves. So, honey, this is perfect with this purse. So this purse can either go with what I have on, or it can also match with this. So I'm going to put that up a little bit closer. There you go. Boom. So, showed you that outfit from our More Too Classy Boutique and accessories. Now I'm going to show you my jumpsuit. So mine also have the sleeves right here. It also has the purse that I was showing you guys. So I really love this. It fits perfectly. You can wear a belt with it. It has the belt loops and all. So now we will be offering services for people that are wanting to book a photo shoot. All of our anyone that books a photo shoot with C Portraits and Magazine, we're going to go beyond the cover, and we're going to offer 20% off for anyone that would like to wear our items. Now, with that being said, you have to book your appointment at least 2 to 3 weeks beforehand so that I can order your size of whichever outfit that you choose. But once you choose your outfit, we choose the scenery, the background. You will get 20% off the total package for your photo shoot. So there is a bonus for anyone that books a photo shoot with, C Portraits Magazine LLC. They will receive 20% off of our clothing, so that they could wear. If they do decide, if they decide that they want to wear our clothing during the photo shoot, they will get 30% off instead of 20. If you purchase an item of Amore Too Classy Boutique with your photo shoot, you'll get 20% off. But if you wear the actual item that you purchased during the photo shoot, you will get 30% off. And we do have kid clothing, but that's with my children's business, which is Ashe Creations. For the girls, it's Mama Creations, and for the boys, it's Classic Fresh Guys. So we do have clothing for the whole family. So you'll get the same 20% off of on their websites as well, if you book your appointment. And you can, if you just want to book your children's appointment and you just want them to wear the children's attire, we have that option as well. So I just wanted to get that out. Yesterday was our first day of the Amore Kids virtual classes / in-person classes. And when I say it turned out amazing, the stuff you learn about how people see themselves and children see themselves is awesome. Yesterday was focused on self-image, and to hear how the kids see themselves is an eye-opener. But it was great. It turned out great. The kids were great. And I had an awesome time. And if you would like to sign up your child for this class, either in person or virtual, I only have maybe 2 more slots for in person because I don't want to fill up the room, because we have to have spaces in between. And I also provide the masks. But if you would like to do in person or virtual for your child, you can sign your children up on our website at cportraitsmagazine.com. So I'm going to play that so you guys could get your children ready if you decide. But after this week, we can just sign them up for the next classes, because this was just basically getting to know the children on yesterday, and next week it's going to get deep. So I'm going to play that video so you can get your children signed up and ready if you so choose, so your children can have their own business of whatever their gifts are. So here we go. And, God always gives extra opportunities. He always provides a way out if you stay the course. So, also, there's another way that if you don't want to book a photo shoot or whatever, or you just want to book a photo shoot, there's other opportunities to get free items or, get 50% off more than what I offered you. If you answer the questions for our Beyond the Cover videos. So, I have the spin wheel challenge ready for you guys. And the question of today, again, will be at the end of this video. But I'm going to show you guys what you will receive if you answer the question. But the question will come at the end of this video. So you have to stay tuned in order to be able to answer the question to get this percentage. This is part of the message of today. Because if you can stay tuned and you can stay right here with me to the end to see it out on the end, then you will be able to receive whatever this is, if it's a free something or if it's 50% off or whatever it is. So let's see. We're going to spin the wheel and see what you will get. And then I will give you the question at the end if you stay to the end. Now, if you don't, that'll be your loss. But if you do, you'll be able to receive, because you cannot receive this blessing unless you stick it out to the end. So, and y'all will get it after we get into it. So here we go. Hold on, I want to make sure y'all see that I'm just gonna push it. Man, I got it too close. The light is so bright. I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh, so you guys will receive a free mug. Now, these are the COVID-proof mugs. So you guys, if you answer this question, you will receive a free mug. So that's something you want to get. And if you stay to the end, I may do this spin wheel again at the end. So you guys can receive another gift. But you must stay till the end to see it out till the end. Because if you go and you leave this video before then, you're going to miss out on your blessing. And that's part of the topic of today and the deeper meaning of what we will be discussing today. Because God is wondering, He's asking you, who are you following? And who or what are you submitting to? Because if you're not following or submitting to God, then who are you following and submitting to? That's what we're going to have to dig deep on. Now, sometimes we don't realize who we are following or submitting to because we're just supposedly doing our own thing. But doing your own thing may not be the thing that God has you to do. So we must be aware of what God has us to do instead of what we want to do. Because when we do things that we decide to do, that's when we get in trouble. And so we are going to get deep into Jeremiah. As I told you guys, I have been reading 2 chapters a night, every night, and it is going down. And when I say, if you do not wait to the end and you don't stay where God has you to stay until He tell you to move, you're going to be in trouble. Because so many times we start following and doing what everybody else is doing instead of allowing God to deal with us and to move us on His timing. So we jumping and skipping and going everywhere that we think we need to be going instead of consulting with God and asking Him, where would you have me to go? What is your will for my life? What would you have me to do in this situation? That is what God is wanting us to do. He's wanting us to follow Him, not follow everybody that we see. Oh, well, she doing this. I'm gonna try that, and I'm gonna try this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna submit to this, and I'm gonna do this. No. So, like I said, it's deeper because God is saying, The very thing that you are trying not to do, the very excuses that you're using to not read the word, and I'm not doing that because the this and that, and you know they done mess with it and trying to, that's their way of control and all. Honey, they already got you under control. They already got you submitting. Period. So what are you talking about? What is your real excuse? What are you really trying to run from? What are you trying to hide? What are you trying not to deal with? That's what God is saying. What is it? Because you can't escape what's about to go down, because this is part of getting you to your destiny. But you're not going to just go straight to your destiny. You don't get to skip these steps. That's why I said I need to finish and complete my process that God has me on. I don't care what everybody see. Oh, you doing it. You already know. I don't. I don't have it. I don't know everything. And I'm not going to act like I do, because he's still working on me, and I want him to continue to work. He's going to work on me until the day I die, period. So with that being said, we have to deal with the things that we are trying to run from. Oh, it's crazy here, and I gotta go. Honey, I've been wanting to leave Knoxville. Dang, I've been wanting to leave for some years now. Like, Lord, you know my heart's desire is to get on up out of here. But I need to get whatever it is that I need to get up out of here before, he may have me to leave here. And Lord knows, I will be so excited to get up out of Knoxville. But I'm not moving until he tells me to move. Because sometimes he has us in a situation before he blesses us. And if we move out of that situation because it's too hard. Oh, I got to get out of here. And we make decisions based off of what we want to do. And we follow what ourselves and our own thoughts. Or we following, well, she moved, so I need to move too. Or he moved. And see, that's what I'm saying. I got to get out of here too. And I ain't got time for this because it's too hard and they got too many shootings. It's shootings everywhere. What are you talking about? The very thing that you're trying to escape from and trying not to deal with here is going to follow you everywhere. It's everywhere. And if God is trying to deal with you, it don't matter where you go. Stop doing the Jonah. Because it's going to follow you regardless, whether you want to deal with it or not. God said you're going to learn today. I'm going to bring it wherever you go. It's going to come with you. That abandonment feeling is coming with you. You following this man and that woman or whatever because you don't want to deal. You don't want to take time off to yourself, to deal with yourself and to heal yourself. Oh, it's deeper. I mean, God, he goes through all angles, whichever angle you are dealing with. He said you don't want to deal with it. You try not to deal with it. So you hopping into different relationships. You're not asking God if this is his will, if this is the man or woman that he has for you. Because you don't want to deal with you. I didn't want to deal with me. Honey, I didn't, when I realized how extra I was, honey. I'm like, Lord, now I'm changed now. I should not have to be dealing with Shanidra. But, the more Shanidra ran from Shanidra, it did not, work. It followed me wherever I went until I dealt with it, until I allowed God to heal me from it. Now, we don't want to deal with the healing part because it don't feel good. We don't want to go through all the stuff. So God gives us this beautiful picture of where he's taking us. And it's like, oh my gosh, you're going to give me that? Oh my goodness. And, whether it's for a business or a vision of, a job or whatever, or a man or a woman, it's like he presents it. Like, I'm going to give this to you. But see, he don't tell us everything that we're going to have to deal with to grow us up to get to receive that. Because we are ready, like, I'm ready. I'm ready. No, you're not ready. You following everybody else and you ain't even listening to me. Because you trying to figure it out on your own of how you're going to get there. And God said, no, submit to me. Who are you submitting to? Because you're not submitting to me. You didn't even ask me how you didn't ask me to direct your path to get there. The only way you're going to get there is through me. Period. You're not going to get there nowhere, no following nobody else or submitting to anybody or anything else other than me. Period. The Almighty. So he was like, you keep going everywhere but me. It's not helping you to get to your destiny. Period. So you either get in tune with reality, because no matter where you go, no matter who you're with, no matter what you do, you're still going to have that empty feeling. That empty feeling, that feeling inside of you that is not fulfilled. And that nothing is going to be able to fulfill it but God. Period. Nothing. Ask me how I know. Nothing is going to, honey, and I'm still, I'm not going to say I'm completely fulfilled, but honey, I am in God, honey. I'm lacking nothing with God. Like, I don't need nothing. But even with that, he ended up, going deeper into that with us women or men. We act as if we don't need anybody. So we don't want to submit to anybody because I don't need you. So what am I submitting to? You want me to follow you? I don't need you. I can say this because, honey, and the way my father spoils me, it's like, please, you cannot top this. Please. Nothing you offer can top this. But God he doesn't spoil us for us to get cocky like that. He just wants us to be whole before we get into a relationship. He wants us to learn how to submit, because the problem is we're not submitting to him. So how can we submit to anybody else? You're not even submitting to God. You doing what you want to do, choosing who you want and how you want and what you want. You following everything but God. You submit to everything else but God. And you wonder, wow, I've been with in such and such for 15 years in here. Because you didn't ask God, is this the man for you or this the woman for you? So you're going to be waiting 50,000 years until you put God in it. Nothing is going to last without God. And until you do what God tells you to do, until you allow God to direct your path. Nothing is going to move and groove the way you think it's supposed. Well, God showed me. I already know. You don't know, because God showed me what he's going to give me. So I know that this got to be anything that God gives you, creative, no sorrow, period. No, you acting like everything's going to be, I never said everything was going to be perfect, but y'all will be able to deal with it together. Period. Y'all will be equally yoked to be able to deal with it together. So, but you can't if y'all can't even if you cannot even submit to one another. And you can't submit to one another. You can't submit to anybody else if you don't even know how to submit to God. Again, you cannot leave God out of this, because you have to submit first to God. Period. He comes first. He's coming first in my marriage. I'm consulting with God. Period. On everything. Let's take this up with God. And see, my husband he's gonna automatically either do that or no to do that. So I'm not gonna even have to tell him. That's what I'm saying. When it's from God and when he or she is of God, that's gonna be the first thing or method that they are going to go to is God. You cannot do anything outside of God. You're not gonna be able to heal yourself, sweetheart. You don't even know what's wrong with you. I'm telling you. I thought that, I'm over that and I'm done with that. And, that does not faze me. And I've moved on and this and that and what the woo. No. Honey, the things that I said and that I was over with, I was not over with. How about that? Honey, let me tell you. Let me give you my testimony, sweetheart, because this is important for you to see. then I'm first of all not judging you. And I'm not telling this like, oh, you and you need to do this, and you and you and you. I'm still learning this. Because Shanidra is is part of the independent woman type of thing. Especially with my connection with my father. Because basically, if I continue to be obedient, whatever I ask, I receive. Pretty much. Hands down, what it is. I ask my father, if I'm being obedient to him, I get it. And more. More than whatever I ask for. That's why I'm trying to help everybody else out. Be obedient to him, and honey, whatever your heart's desire, wherever you want, whatever you ask for, you will receive in obedience to him. But if you're refusing to read his word and do things his way, Yahweh, you basically need you need to hit the highway. Because what God's way is the only way. You can't do it your way. You can't follow his way or her way. You can only follow Yahweh. Period. Who or what are you submitting to other than God? You need to choose ye this day whom you gonna serve. God is not playing. You're gonna either love one and hate the other. So if you loving something more than you loving God, then you must. That's what he's saying. Because there's no in between. There's I love God and I love it. No, you don't. Because you putting him over God. You putting her over God. We have to put God in our situation. And we have to heal so we will not hurt anybody while we're hurt. Hurt people really do hurt people. That is not just a cliche or just a play of words. That's real. Because when you hurt people. Whether you willingly are trying to vindictively hurt somebody or like me. I was not trying to hurt any man. But my dismiss rate is quick. Get on my nerves, you out. You do something that is unacceptable, you're out. Because again, I was in that I don't need you. So God is having to deal with me with submitting too. And I have learned over the years, and with me submitting to God and fully and truly learning how to submit to God is helping me to be able to submit to someone else. Because this has been a thing for me since I was younger. You tell me I gotta wait for something I want, and I'm used to getting what I want when I want it. Oh, I'm gonna figure it. I'm gonna get it. I'm not waiting when I want it now. Where they do that at? I'm gonna figure it out and I get it. And ain't nobody gonna be able to take it when I get it. Period. And I've been like this since childhood. I bought my own first bed because I didn't want to wait. Bedroom suit when I was a child. Not like, from a twin size into a queen size. I did that because I didn't want to wait. I bought my first car because I didn't want to wait until I graduated. So these are things that we do that we don't even realize. It can have a positive effect and a negative. Now, I've been like this majority of my life. Like I've never followed anybody. I'm a natural born leader. I'm the oldest of 9 kids. Well, 10 kids. I'm the oldest of 10 kids. 10 of them. I've always been a leader and not a follower. So it's always been hard for me to follow anything. But even with that, even if you're not following somebody, who are you submitting to? Yourself? To your own thoughts? I don't follow nobody, honey. Okay, and I don't either. And I'm still in trouble. We still get in trouble because God said you have to follow him and do things his way on his time. Period. So I had to quickly, in following and submitting to God, I had to quickly learn, Shanice, you gotta wait. You can't get this now. You gotta wait. There's a process that you must go through. Just like there's a process before you drive a car. You have to learn how to drive that car first. You can have that car all day long. But I had to get my permit first. I had to go through the process before I could get my license. And I had to pass the test before I could drive on the road. So that's the same thing that God is, wow, thank you, Lord. That's the same thing that God is doing with us. He said, the car is already here. I already have it. The house, the husband, the wife, I have that. But you have to go through this process. And you have to follow me. And you have to submit to me and allow God to direct your path. That's what he's saying. Because there's a process that you must go through. Because if you try to drive that car without proper training and preparation, you're going to immediately wreck yourself and possibly kill yourself and die. Because you went ahead of God and you did not do it Yahweh. You hit the highway before you did it instead of doing it Yahweh. So you died that way. And in order for me to help y'all to not take that path, because you don't want to get into a car, oh, I got the car, now I can drive. No, you have to practice. You have to prepare to get behind the wheel. You have to go through that process of driving and learning to push the brakes before, not speeding, and learning how to turn and the turn signals, which way to turn. And you have to learn all of this before you can get on that road. Because even if you know how to push the gas, everybody know how to push the gas and go. But if you don't know which way you're going or how to get there, it means nothing. You're going to wreck. You're going to wreck yourself. And this is what God is saying in his word. You're going to wreck yourselves going your way, submitting to your way or whoever way, following somebody he did not send you. And they leading you astray because he has you to minister. And then they getting you off track. You can't do that. That's not who he has for you. But you don't want to let that go to do his way. Because you want to fulfill your flesh. And God said, no ma'am, no him, no man, no nothing. None of y'all doing this. You're either going to do it my way or you need your best way is to hit the highway. But no, when you hit that highway, there's going to be consequences for your action. If you decide to get into this car before you go through this process and you go ahead and leave to go to the destination I showed you instead of staying where I told you to stay and go through this process and getting your permit first and then taking the test and passing it. You have to pass this test in order before you drive. Now, if you fail the test, then you're going to have to take it until you pass it in order for you to drive, to move forward, to go forward to what he promised you, to be able to drive your car outside of the parking lot. But right now, you're in the parking lot. I know you want to go outside of the parking lot. But right now, I need you to stay in this parking lot because you're safer in this parking lot. If you go outside of where I told you to go, you're walking into the battlefield. You're walking in to the famine. Because I told you, you automatically disobeyed what I told you to do. I told you to stay here and you decided to go anyway. Because you didn't want to wait. You're going to do it on your time. Unacceptable. It's on God's time. But God showed me. He always shows us. He don't show us what we got to go through to get to that. And that's what we have to pay attention to. Because just because he showed you, he showed me. And I'm like, oh, wow, thank you, Lord. He was like, yeah, but I got some stuff that I need to fix in you. I'm like, oh, well, I know, because you're healing me. I'm ready. He was like, no, you're submitting to me now, so I'm gonna have to, I'm preparing you and getting you used to submitting so that you can submit to your husband. I'm like, of course, I'm going to always submit you, Lord, even before my husband and everybody. But God It's preparing me. So I'm in the season of learning my flaws of, I'm going to have to learn how to, you know, listen and wait. Now I can do it with God. I'm used to waiting. I waited to go to Destin Beach and it was so fulfilling because I waited on God's timing to let me go to Destin. But with human beings, God is easy. I can submit and do whatever He tell me to do, when He tell me to do it, how He tell me to do it, and wait. Everybody that know me now knows that I'll be like, well, I gotta pray about it. I don't know. I thought you said you wanted to go. I do. I really do want to go. But if God tell me no, I'm not going. Period. If He didn't give me the green light to go, I'm still at red. I can't move. Because I don't want to. If I move and God didn't tell me to move, I'm in trouble. That's just like your parents telling you, now you stay right here. If you don't, you're gonna be in trouble. And that recently happened with my children. I told them to stay right here. You gotta stay right where I can see you, period. You don't, you coming in the house. And then this little friend came, or this little boy came and wanted to play with them. And I told the little boy, he was like, can they go down? Nope. They have to stay right here. Who are you following? I asked my kids that, who are you following? Who or what are you submitting to? Because I told you to stay right here. I didn't tell you to go over there. Why did you go over there? But see, they got caught in action because you cannot go outside of God. God see you. And I saw my kids. Oh, where they think they going? Where y'all going? Oh, we was trying to go down. Oh, so y'all gonna do it anyway. So you following him. No, we was trying to tell them that we're gonna do what you said. No, you could tell them by doing what I said. Who are you submitting to? Who you following? Because that's not what I told you to do, is it? Well, no, I was going to come. No, it's not coming back. Because there's not a guarantee that you're going to come back. And that's what he's talking about in Jeremiah. You think you're going to be able to come back. No, because if you go out and I didn't tell you to go out, you coming in. And you're gonna face the consequences for your actions for being disobedient and going somewhere I told you not to go. If I told you not to go there, I don't care if you like it or want to hear it or not. God said you don't need to go. Period. And that's exactly, get in the house. Now you in trouble. Take the ball, take the bikes, all of that in the house. Because you didn't listen. You didn't do what I told you to do. You still wanted to do what you wanted to do after I told you and the little boy not to go that way. Period. Yeah, but I don't care who you following. Who are you following? Because you're not following what I told you to do. Because if you was following what I told you, you would be right here. I wouldn't have to tell you to bring your little butt back on over here. And that's what God's saying. If you doing what I said, I don't care if it's something you want to hear or not. If Susie, Bill, whoever go over there, I don't care what they doing. What I told you to do is stay right here. Who are you following? Who are you submitting to? Quit worrying about what everybody else is doing. What they get to, it don't matter what they get to do. You can't do that. You can't. That's what God's saying. You can't. Just like I told my kids, you can't do that. Yeah, I wasn't. You did. You wasn't following me. I told you to stay right here. But you went there. So now you're not able to play. Congratulations. Because there's not a guarantee that you would have came back. Period. They think, we and people think as, oh, this is not fair. And I don't want to just have to stay right here. But if you go over there, there's not a guarantee that you're going to come back because you're walking into the wilderness. My kids could have just innocently just followed that little boy. And boom, they don't know what's outside, what's over there. But they thinking, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to just stay here. So I'm going to go there. No. Because there's not a guarantee that you was going to come back. That's why I want you where I can see you. That's why I want you to stay right here. It ain't just you this. I said, I promise you that you could play and have fun and enjoy yourself. I promise you that. But I need you to do that here and endure this process here. Because if you can do what I say here, then that will allow you to go other places. Because I know that you will be able to first follow what I tell you to do, the way I tell you to do it. Because you learn to stay put where I told you to stay put. So then that will build the trust that you will be able to move forward a little bit further. Now, you still can't go to the park and all that outside of my sight, but you can go a little bit a further distance. You can ride the bike a little bit, maybe to the mailbox and back. But right now, you don't know how to follow me. You following him. Who you following? No, I'm following. No, you following me with your words. That's what God said, but I don't want to hear that. Because the moment I tell you something you don't want to hear, you do what you want to do. And God said you're not going to continue to do what you want to do, because whatever you go, you're going to face what you're trying to escape. Period. So you're trying to avoid having to stay put. You're trying to avoid everything else that God is telling you to do because you don't want to do it. Don't feel right. And that's not fair. And this and that. And she's doing it and he's doing it. And how come I got to stay right here? And blah, da, 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 da. Because you're not going where they are going. He showed me where I was going to get and what I was going to do. And I'm just about to go on and go on over there because I know he told me. No, he didn't say right now. Did he tell you to move right now? No. So you moving ahead of God is not helping you. And you're going to learn today when we get into Jeremiah, because we're about to get into Jeremiah, but he wanted me to touch bases in real life and real reality where you can get all the aspects of what he's talking about and how it plays out. Because if you don't, you're going to continue to do it unknowingly or knowingly and get in trouble. Whether you're doing it unknowingly or not, you're still going to get them hands. Period. So you can keep trying to do it your way or everybody else's way and how they doing it and follow them and submit to their way and do that. Because the submitting part is what he's talking about with the churches also. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. They're not doing it his way. I'm not saying all churches. I'm saying some of the men and women of God are not doing it Yahweh. They are submitting to the way that the 501c3 is allowing them to say. That's why they allow stuff that is not of God in the churches, leading his people astray. But for everybody that has a church like that, you're going to have to get some act right, and you know better. And God is not playing. And that's in his word. So if you're really in his word, Jesus said, why when I tell the truth, you don't understand what I say? You should understand exactly what I'm saying right now. So what I'm saying is real. And if you continue to allow the things that are detestable to God, that God did not say that was right in his word or tell you that was right, then you're in trouble. Period. Because you're leading his people astray. You're letting them think that it's okay. God makes no mistakes, period. He made men for women and women for men. And there's no way that he is going to allow anything to contradict his word. Period. Now, only way that can happen is, like he gives me the deeper meaning of what he's talking about, is if they are submitting to something other than Yahweh. If you're submitting to their way, you're not doing it Yahweh's. You're not doing it God's way. And that's a problem. You either do it God's way or you might as well hit the highway. You might as well go down off your little seat and stop. Because he said, just like he said that the part of Lord, why why you didn't do what I say is the fact of what he said, they're going to come up to him, the pastors. Didn't I prophesy in your name, Lord? Didn't I do this and that? He said, you didn't do that for me. You didn't do that for my name, for what I told you. You did that for you. Depart from me, worker of iniquity. Depart from me, worker of sin. I never knew you. Just like you didn't know me, you didn't follow me, you didn't submit to me. You submitted to their way because you wanted their money instead of my money. I got you. This is deeper than what you think. God is not playing. Period. So you either do it God's way and stand like Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, or you in trouble. You getting these hands everywhere you go, it's gonna follow you. Period. And he will destroy you. Period. That's what he said in his word, and we're gonna get into his word in a minute. But I have to finish saying what God says. Because we're allowing too many things in God's house. Everybody want to mention, oh, Jesus got angry. He flipped over tables because he did not like what was happening in God's house, in his dad's house, in his father's house. That's why he flipped over. Read the whole text. Quit repeating what everybody else said. Quit following it and what everybody else said. And read it for yourself so you can get the definition and revelation that God is telling you. I don't have this type of wisdom outside of God. I don't know nothing. I didn't know none of this that I'm telling you right now. God is downloading this at this moment. This was nothing that I planned on saying or nothing. So whatever is being said is being said, and he's not playing. Period. I take heed all day, every day. And I can't worry about hurting people's feelings because it hurts God's feelings when you do not do his will, his way. You basically say, I'm not going to listen to that because I'm not telling you what you want to hear. Grow up. You too grown for that. I'm not telling you what you want to hear, and I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear. You can either listen and take heed and do what I say, or what God say, or deal with the consequences of your actions. You can't blame nobody else but you. They try to imprison Jeremiah. They did everything because they didn't want to listen. But then they want to secretly get him out and did the Lord say anything to? Oh, because you facing some of them consequences that I forewarned you that God told me to tell you. Oh, now you want to listen? No. Before I tell y'all anything, I need to petition the throne and let y'all know. Are you going to try to throw me back into prison? Do not do that because I will surely die there. So if I tell you what saith the Lord, like I told you before, it ain't going to change. I'm not, just because you get me out of prison or whatever, I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah. So I'm just going to tell you what you want. No, I'm still not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what saith the Lord, what the Lord said that you need to be doing. Because what you're not going to do is continue to do your way, or follow whoever else's way. Or submit to whoever else is telling you, oh, well, you're not going to be able to get this funding. We're going to have to cut the funding off. I'm doing these classes without the funding. Only the funding from God. Because I'm not submitting or following nobody else's rules but my Father's rules. Period. I don't need it. Because not only am I supplying, God is supplying, thank you, Lord. God is supplying my needs for my business. He's also supplying my kids' needs for their business, their supplies. Period. But I must continue to do and say exactly what God, Yahweh says. Period. I do not want to hit the highway. So I'm not going to tell you what you want me to say. Or what you want to hear. Like Jeremiah said, why are you not talking to your little prophets that told you what nothing gonna happen? Why are you not listening to them? Why are you not going to them? Why are you taking me out of prison and everything after you done beat me and everything? And you coming to me? Why are you not asking them? They told you what nothing gonna happen. Ask them. Why are you asking me? Read Jeremiah. That's what he said. Why are you asking me? I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm still going to. Yes, the Lord did say something. And he's still saying he's going to lay them hands. So you either get some act right and follow his way and submit to him, or you're going to face the consequences and repercussions for your actions. Period. There's no way to avoid it. But you don't want to deal with the extraness that comes with it. You don't want to be in that dark tunnel. You ready to go out like, oh, how can I? So you beating the thing, but it's hurting your knuckles and on your fist because you're trying to beat yourself out of the tunnel. Oh, it's too long. How long is this tunnel? It's too dark in here. So you kicking and you hitting and trying to get out, and you hurting yourself. God said you hurting yourself trying to do it your way, trying to escape the way that He has you to go because it feels uncomfortable. When you're getting healed, it's uncomfortable. It do not feel right. When He is elevating you, it do not feel right. I don't know what type of lies y'all have heard, but honey, every time He has elevated me, I have went through the most storm of my life before that big, huge blessing come. Now, blessings come, small blessings, and, blessings come all the time. I mean, it's a blessing to wake up in the morning. That's why I don't complain when He wake me up. Whenever He wakes me up, it could be 2:00 in the morning, I'm getting up. But we must do God's way, period. Avoiding it is going to follow. It's going to follow us, period. Wherever we go, the very thing that we're trying to not deal with, escape from, going with, you, okay. Okay, I always say abandonment issues. Not dealing with sexuality, or being molested or being touched as a child or whatever it is, drugs, prostitution. He said all of this stems from you trying to run away from the problem. So instead of you dealing with it, you go to outside sources outside of God. And he said, and you start following what others do to cope with it. You start following the patterns of your parents, or you start following the patterns of who you're around, or, submitting to their way instead of Yahweh. And Yahweh, God is trying to heal you. And, you got a little touch of it and it didn't feel right. So you're like, oh, I ain't dealing with that. Oh, gosh, I don't like feeling that hurt. But you have to, because now you are out here, since you didn't deal with the hurt from not having your father, you're looking for your father in other men, and you're allowing them to control you as if they are your father. If you have been touched, he said that gay stuff, or liking the same sex, is not according to His word or His will or His way. Period. Like it or love it. Oh, you're judging. I'm not judging. I'm telling you what He said. Period. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't tell you. I'll be like, oh, keep doing what you're doing. But that's what He's saying in the churches. They're allowing all this, like this is, oh, I'm not judging you. Do whatever you want. No, you're submitting to their way because they told you that you need to have all walks of life in there. And God He accepts all His people. Don't get me wrong. And don't misquote me, because you will have to deal. He said He's going to deal with my adversary, so it won't be me that you're going to deal with. But anyways, what I'm saying is we're not judging. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not judging that. But just like I tell my children right from wrong, it's not right for you to be a woman or a little girl and like another little girl. It's not right for you to be a little boy and like a little boy. That's not God's way. Now, I'm not going to have them submitting to any other way. Not under my guidance. That's not what I'm telling them to do. And when they get older, out of my class, between them and God. But as far as what I'm telling them and training them up in the way that they should go is according to God's word. And we have to stick with God's word, because we're going to be lawless, like a city with no walls. That's what God said. It's like we're just rummaging around everywhere. We have no walls to separate good and evil. He's saying good is evil and evil is good. God said, what is this? What is this wickedness? This is not what I said. Period. So you trying to escape and not deal with that hurt that you felt or whatever as a child or grown up or whenever, whatever happened, whether it's daddy issue, mama issues, whatever, you have to deal with it. You cannot keep running from it because you are hurt. You're hurt and you're going around hurt. And then you end up causing hurt on others because you're not healed. If you break up with someone, you cannot jump into another relationship. You have to heal. And it's not on your time when you feel like you're ready. Well, honey, I've been parched and desolate, so I need to go ahead and now. You need to deal. You're gonna have to be parched and desolate until God says you're ready, until He's ready to move you. But right now, you need to stay right there. Stay a little bit right there. Don't be jumping on nothing else. Don't move until He tell you to move. Now, we're about to get into Jeremiah because I have touched on everything that He has me to touch on thus far, unless He stops me. Now, we're in Jeremiah, the 44th chapter, and that's what we're going to start reading. It says, starting at the second verse, it says, "This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. You saw the great disaster I brought on Jerusalem. You saw this. I don't understand this. You already saw what I did to your brother. Why would you act like this? Or you saw what, God is like, you already saw what I did. You saw what I did to Jerusalem and on all the towns of Judah. Today, they lie deserted. They are deserted and in ruins. You saw this. You saw what I did when they was being disobedient, didn't want to listen. Now they lie deserted and in ruins because of the evil they have done. Their disobedience. They arouse my anger." This is God. He said, this is what the Lord Almighty says. "They arouse my anger by burning incense to and worshiping other gods." Who are you following and who are you submitting to? He said, y'all arouse his anger by burning incense to and worshiping other gods that neither they nor you nor your ancestors ever knew. You don't even know these people. And you following and submitting to them. You don't know them. Your ancestors didn't know them. None of them. He said, "Again and again, I sent my servants, the prophets, who said," again and again, he sent his servants, the prophets, to tell y'all, to warn y'all. He said, who said, "Do not do this detestable thing that I hate." He said, I sent them to tell y'all to not do it. That the detestable things that I hate. But they did not listen or pay attention. Y'all want to hear stuff. If it's something that y'all don't want to hear, oh, she judging. No, God said it ain't none of that. I told them to tell you that. Period. He said you did not want to listen or pay attention. They did not turn from their wickedness or stop burning incense to other gods. Who you following and who you submitting to? Therefore, my fierce anger, you caused God's fierce anger. He said, therefore, my fierce anger was poured out. It raged against the towns of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem and made them the desolate ruins they are today. Period. So you didn't recognize what I did over there? You think it's not going to happen to you? Oh, that's what it is. Oh, I saw that, but he ain't going to do that to me. He going to do that to you. You didn't see what they did? It's still desolate and in ruins today. So what you mean? He said, now, verse 7, now this is what the Lord God Almighty, the God of Israel, says. Why bring such great disaster on yourselves? Why? He said, why are you going to do this to yourselves? Why are you trying to run and you can't stay put where I told you to stay put? Why? Why are you going to bring this disaster on you after you seen what I did? Dang, why? He said, why bring this disaster on yourself by cutting off from Judah the men, the women, the children, and infants, and so leave yourselves without a remedy? Why? Why? That's a question mark. Why? 8, verse 8. Why arouse my anger? Why are you trying to arouse God's anger? That's what you don't want. If there's anything in your life, you do not want them hands from God. Period. You should not be scared of no human being. I'm not scared of no human being on this earth. Because God for me, who can be against me, period. And he handles mine. So, I don't want to be handled by God, period. I don't like it. And you definitely should be scared. He said, why arouse my anger? Why? Why are you doing this? Why? This ain't what you want. He said, why arouse my anger with what your hands have made? Burning incense to other gods in Egypt. Why you want to do that? Why? Why did you want to arouse my anger? I'm trying not to whoop you. But you want to keep making me mad. You want to keep doing things I told you not to do. You want to keep following and submitting to other gods and doing what they have you to do instead of what I told you to do. I said none of them detestable things should be in my house. That's why my son, Jesus, Yahweh, flipped them tables over. Period. None of them. Period. You're supposed to stand like me, Shadrach. I gave you examples. But you instead want to follow and worship those other guys. You want to submit to them in their way up in my house and then claim that I told you and that this is my way. That's not my way. I don't know what I'm saying right now. God said that is not his way, period. Why arouse his anger? Oh my goodness. He said, with your hands in incense to other gods in Egypt, where you have come to live. You want to go to Egypt where I have just delivered you from? Dang. Why? Why you want to go back and serve those gods and do what they say because this is too hard? What I'm about to bless you with is way bigger than all of you. Was going to be over all the nations. But you want to settle for this little bit that they decide to give you, that the government decided to give you. Like I said, when you're going towards your destiny, let me see where I'm at. Okay. When you're going towards your destiny, you're not going to go their way. Period. You're not going to submit to their way. You're not going to do it their way. You're going to follow Yahweh. Period. I followed God's way. It did not look right because they cut off child care. I had no child care with a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old child. But God told me to take this path. Period. With no help from anybody else. I couldn't even turn to nobody because nobody has been on this path that God has me. So you can't quit and start following the way that he had for your parents or for anybody else, but the way he has for you. My life is totally different from anybody that I know. I could not talk to nobody but God and really follow what God had for my life because the government did not help me. Nobody, because I'm not working a job. They think I'm trying to just do stuff for fun and don't have. No, I'm doing this for my kids. What you mean? I prayed for this and this is the way that God has me to go. They don't make sense. You need to think about. I am thinking about the kids. Them jobs don't think about my kids. Period. Now, God is saying that you must submit to his way. And it's not going to go. That little bit of piece of change nonsense that they was giving me, telling me I can't work more than 20 hours a week and all this stuff. Honey, I've been there, done that. That's why I don't judge nobody. Been there. Because child care is high. Then when you have more than one child, that's double. And they know that. They know how high it is. Then you're trying to work and then pay your regular bills and keep gas in your car and all that stuff. They know it's hard for you to afford childcare on top of that. And basically, you got to bring your own food, own diapers, and everything. You got to bring double to the daycare for them to have there and hopefully have some left for your house while your kids pooping up everything and making, so. But it seems like, oh gosh, this is too much. I'm going to have to go back on assistance so that I can get this help because no. I had to keep the path. I could not move. I had to stay the path that God had me to stay on. I had to allow them to take stuff from me. Take the food stamps, take all this stuff. I had to allow that. And I'm not ashamed to talk about that. Because that was part of my journey. But where God got me now, Please. That changes nothing. And I haven't even touched what he has shown me that I'm going to touch. But I'm thankful and grateful for where he has me now. But we cannot submit or follow their way. Period. Period. It's not going down. Period. Now we're about to read why it's not going down. But I gave you that example and I had to tell my testimony so you know what it is. You have to not submit to their way. Even when it gets hard, do not submit to their way. Period. You must stay on the path that God has you to stay on. That's the only way that I've been able to be in business for 6 years with 2 babies. They are now in elementary school. So I'm telling you what it is. And I've been in business for 6 years. I had babies. They're still babies. So one just entered basically the double digits. So now we are at verse 8. He said, why arouse my anger with what your hands have made, burning incense to other gods in Egypt, where you have come to live? Why? Why are you trying to go back to what I delivered you from? That's like me going back to Section 8 when it gets hard. Oh, shoot. I could have easily been like, oh, man, he just moved me here, and there's a pandemic. I moved in this place with more rent when the pandemic hit. Like, I moved in March of last year. And then, boom, shut down the school. Boom, this, boom, that. I could have been like, oh, shoot, I need to go back to Section 8 or something. No, I stayed right where he had me. And I just had to follow and submit to God. This past few years have helped me to just solely focus on submitting and following the Lord solely. Not being dependent on myself because I couldn't. What could I do? I have my kids here. I'm a mother all day, every day. So, even now. But he provides a way for me to do this. Okay, he said, well, okay, the incense to other gods in Egypt where you come from. You will destroy yourselves and make yourselves a curse. You're destroying yourself. You're not going to reach where God has you to go by going back. You're going to destroy yourselves and make yourselves a curse and an object of reproach among all the nations on earth. Have you forgotten the wickedness committed by your ancestors and by the kings and queens of Judah, and the wickedness committed by you and your wives in the land of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem? Have you forgot? Have you forgotten? What? Have you forgotten? That's what he said. Read it. 10. To this day, they have not humbled themselves or shown reverence, nor have they followed my law and the decrees I set before you and your ancestors. You ain't following my way. That's what God said. You're not following his way, nor his decrees or nothing that he set before you and your ancestors. So I don't want to hear it. I said it before your ancestors that you want to follow. None of y'all have done what I told you to do. 11. Therefore, this is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel says. I am determined. God said he is determined to bring disaster on you. So don't be blaming, oh, the devil messing. No, God said he is determined to bring disaster. You don't want to listen? I done told you over and over again. I done sent my prophets. I done sent my servants. And you still don't want to listen? I got you. I'm determined to bring disaster. God said this. The Lord Almighty, read it. We're on the 11th verse. On you and to destroy all of Judah. So he ain't just going to, he going to destroy all of it. 2 seconds. And you scared of somebody on this earth. Please. You want to submit to them because you scared they're going to take this and do this. And girl, boy, stop. 12. I will take away the remnant of Judah who were determined to go to Egypt to settle there. I'm taking all of it. Since you want to go to Egypt and settle there, after I told you to stay right here, because you're trying to avoid this famine and stuff here, oh, it's going to come with you, sweetheart. You're not going to escape this. I'm God. I can bring you wherever. That's what he's saying, period. He said, I will take away the remnant of Judah who were determined to go to Egypt to settle there. They will all perish in Egypt. So since you want to go there, that's where you're going to die. You don't want to do what I say, you're going to die there. Period. That's what he said. You will perish in Egypt. They will fall by the sword or die from famine. You either going to fall by the sword or you're going to die from the famine. Either way, you dying. Period. From the least to the greatest, they will die by sword or famine. They will become a curse and an object of horror, a curse and an object of reproach. I will punish those who live in Egypt with the sword, famine, and plague, as I punished Jerusalem. I'm punishing you getting these hands. You are getting these hands. Period. I'm doing it. Quit blaming the enemy. Quit blaming the devil. I'm doing it. You don't want to listen. You want to go along with this trick-or-treat Halloween demonic stuff that they clearly show you that it's demonic, and you still want to go through it. Now, again, Shanidra is not judging you. I'm speaking what saith the Lord, because Shanidra had to learn that the ways of this world and what they're thinking and making the evil that they're making seem good is evil. We have to be woke. We have to use common sense. Now, I have been part of the trick-or-treat and stuff, and I didn't know the effects and what it been so against God and all that. I wasn't paying attention to that. I didn't dig deeper into it. But when God told me what it is and what it's going to be, we cannot follow the things of this world. We cannot submit to their way. Period. So you can choose it if you want to. But like he said, as I punished Jerusalem, he's going to punish you just like he punished the others. Period. It ain't changed. He's still the same guy he was today and yesterday. All day, every day. He said, 14, none of the remnant of Judah who have gone to live in Egypt will escape or survive to return to the land of Judah. Like I said, you want to go ahead and drive? You're not going to survive out there. You're going to get smacked as soon as you try to drive. You're not coming back. You're not going to escape or survive to return to the land of Judah. So you want to go and not stay here where I told you to stay put, to which they long to return and live? None will return except a few fugitives. 15. Then all the men who knew that their wives were burning incense to other gods, along with all the women who were present, a large assembly, who were present, a large assembly, and all the people living in the lower and upper Egypt said to Jeremiah, we will not listen. So all these people, after Jeremiah done warned them and told them what saith the Lord, that the Lord about to punish them, do all this stuff, they told him, they replied to Jeremiah and said, in verse 16 of Jeremiah 44, we will not listen to the message you have spoken to us in the name of the Lord. We're not going to listen to that. You're not telling us what we want to hear. I'm still going to go trick-or-treating. I bought my stuff. My kids going to do that. I don't want them mad at me and all this stuff. I'm still going to allow this stuff in my father's house. We're still not going to listen to you. What you said that the Lord says. Okay. He said, they said in verse 17, we will certainly do everything we said we would. We still going to trick or treat. We still going to have, all this detestable stuff in God's house. We still going to do that. What we said we was going to do. We will burn incense to the queens of heaven and will pour out drinks offering to her, just as we and our ancestors. So we still going to do what our ancestors did. We still going to do it. We're not listening to you, Jeremiah. What you said the Lord said. We're not doing that. We're still going to do what we said we was going to do, period. That's fine. Ancestors, our kings, and our officials did in the towns and towns of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. At that time, we had plenty of food. So when we was burning incense, we had plenty of food. When I was on government assistance, I had plenty of food. That's what they're trying to say. When you on government assistance, basically, in today's world, I'm breaking it down to today's world. They talking about, what they're saying is when they were in the streets of Jerusalem at that time, we had plenty of food and were well off and suffered no harm. Because you are doing the things of this world, you're following, submitting to the things of this world. Of course, they're not gonna come against you because you're doing what they want you to do. But anytime that you go do the opposite of what they told you, it's gonna be harder. But you don't want to deal with that because you're scared. Oh, and you don't trust in nobody but them. Because you see what they're gonna give you. But God's trying to bless you. They try to hold you down, but you can't even see that. You want to go back to that. Oh, because I at least I have food. And at least, oh my goodness. Grow up. Dang. Now, he said we had plenty of food and we were well off and suffered no harm. But 18, but ever since we stopped burning incense to the Queen of Heaven and pouring out drink offerings to her, we have had nothing and have been perishing by the sword and famine. Okay, I told y'all. They cut me off from child care, everything, food stamps, all of it. They cut it off. And at first, my refrigerator was looking healthy. But, part of the process, when they cut me off from everything because I was going the opposite way of their way, and I started following God's way, my refrigerator looked a little parched and desolate, at the beginning. But God was teaching me how to manage my money, how to spend right, I've just learned how to still get the same meals that I was getting when I had more. Like it's ways, because regardless of whatever you can have, if he haven't told us anything about this pandemic, you can have and be doing what they said. But when they shut down the whole everything, the whole world, what good is that? Just now you in the position that everybody else is in, sweetheart. But if you have God, he's going to supply all your needs during the pandemic, like he has for me. But since I knew how to, since I learned how to manage and make meals out of, my parched and desolate refrigerator, the pandemic didn't faze me because I know how to make meals. I know how to survive now because we can't prevent these type of things from happening. But God prepares us. But if we don't stay this course and we don't get the message and we jump back to what kept us in bondage, then we're never going to get to the destination that God has us to go. We're going to suffer and die from the famine because we don't even know how to survive. So that's what they saying. Well, I had plenty of food, but when I started basically doing it God's way, oh, now we ain't got food and we of course. I thought when I told them that I was trying to start a business, that they would support me and help me with the childcare. No, they cut me off straightforward unless I followed them and submitted to their way. And I refused to do that because I'm like 20 hours. I started thinking differently. Like, this ain't nothing. I'm not going to make nothing. I'm never going to be able to afford their childcare if I have to continue on their system. So we start changing the way we think. That's why God always starts with the renewal of our minds, because we cannot continue to think this way. They're continuously trying to think the same way as their ancestors. And what got them, instead of seeing, okay, my ancestors messed up right here, so I'm not going to do that part that they did that was wrong. I'm gonna do the right thing, what they should have done. I'm going to do, what they should have done instead. But no, you want to follow them and why is this been happening? Because you repeating. He said don't do it. And I'm going to continue. Okay, do it. Like he said. Now, he said, basically we're going to continue. But ever since we stopped burning incense to the Queen of Heaven and pouring out drink offerings to her, we have had nothing and have been perishing by the sword and famine. And you still gonna perish. Go on to Egypt and you gonna perish. Like he said, he destroying you anyway in there. So go on to Egypt. You're not escaping this, sweetheart. Anyways, 19, the women added, when we burned incense to the Queen of Heaven and poured out the drink offerings to her, did not our husbands know that we were making cakes impressed with her image and pouring out drink offerings to her? Basically, they snitching on the husband. They already knew what we was doing. Didn't they know? 20. Then Jeremiah said to all the people, both men and women, who were answering him. 20 in verse 21, he said, did not the Lord remember and call to mind the incense burned in the towns of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem by you and your ancestors, your kings and your officials, and the people of the land? When the Lord could no longer endure your wicked actions and the detestable things you did, your land became cursed in a desolate waste without. He was like, you caused this. When you decided to do this, you caused the curse on you. He like, didn't this happen when you decided to do this? In a desolate wasteland with inhabitants as it is today. Like, if you can't comprehend, it's still today. 23, because you have burned incense and have sinned against the Lord and have not obeyed him or followed the law or decrees or his stipulations, this disaster has come upon you, as you now see. Since you don't want to listen, yes, this disaster has come upon you. So you was worried about the disaster that was going to come from the government or men. But God is like, now you're going to deal with the real disaster, sweetheart, since you don't want to listen. Then Jeremiah said to all the people, including the women, hear the word of the Lord, all you people of Judah and in Egypt. This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. You and your wives have done what you said you would do when you promised. You still want to do what you want to do, you and your wives. We will certainly carry out the vow. You said we will certainly carry out the vows we made to burn incense and pour out the drink offerings to the queens of heaven. Okay, I got you, sweetheart. That's what you said. This is what you said. You're going to still bow down. Okay. He said, go ahead then. God said, go ahead then. That's what you want to do. That's what you decided to do. Okay, you more worried about what they're going to do and what they're going to take than what I'm. Okay. He said, go ahead then. Go ahead then. Do what you promised. Do what you said you're going to do. Follow them. Go ahead. Go ahead. Submit to their way. Go ahead. He said, go ahead and do what you promised. Keep your vows. Do what you said that you're going to do. Keep them. Keep them. Keep your vows. 26. But hear the word of the Lord. All you Jews living in Egypt, I swear by my great name. He's swearing like, I swear by my great name. Says the Lord. That no, y'all better listen, honey, that no one from Judah living anywhere in Egypt, any of y'all, since y'all want to go to Egypt anyway, any of y'all that left here to go to Egypt, no one from Judah living anywhere in Egypt will ever again invoke my name or swear, as surely as the sovereign Lord lives, for I am watching over them for harm. I'm watching over y'all to harm y'all. I'm going to let you know this is the Lord Almighty. I'm about to harm y'all. Y'all want to listen? Y'all want to go over there anyway? I'm about to harm y'all. Don't think it's the devil. It's me. I'm about to harm y'all. That's what the Lord said. Read it. Read it with me. 27, verse 27 to 44. For I am watching over them for harm, not for good. I'm not giving you no good. I'm watching over you for harm. If I watch y'all go over there after I told you not to, just like my kids, I watched y'all go over there. You had the audacity to go over there anyway after I told you specifically not to do. Okay. I'm not giving you no good. There ain't nothing good coming over here. You burn your butt in this house and don't think nothing. Because you about to face these consequences for them actions. That's what God's saying. He said, for I'm watching, okay, and not for good. The Jews in Egypt will perish by sword and famine until they are all destroyed. So you still gonna die by the sword or the famine until you are completely destroyed. Period. So the thing that you was trying to escape from, because you didn't want to be parched and desolate, it's coming with you to Egypt. And you're gonna perish and be destroyed there. That's what he said. Period. Take it or leave it. Period. 28. Those who escape the sword and return to the land of Judah from Egypt will be very few. Then the whole remnant of Judah who came to live in Egypt will know whose word will stand, mine or theirs. Period. Who you following? Who are you submitting to? Because at the end of the day, after God get done with you, you would know. At the end of the day, whose word will stand, period. So you can either get into this word or follow their word, period. Quit following their word. You saying, oh, I'm not going to listen to that word because no, you're following their word, period. Anyways, he said, 29, this will be the sign to you that I will punish you. God said, this is a sign that I'm punishing you. We're worried about what they saying to you that you don't like to hear. I'm punishing you, whether you want to hear it or not. This will be a sign to you in this place, declares the Lord, so that you will know that my threats of harm against you will surely stand. What I say is going to happen. It's surely going to stand. That's what God said, period. Whether you want to believe it or hear it or not. What I say is surely going to go down. It's going to go down. Period. 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 Now, declares the Lord, so that you know that my threat, of harms will surely stand. 30. Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 30. This is what the Lord says. I am going to deliver Pharaoh Hophra, king of Egypt, into the hands of his enemies who want to kill him, just as I gave Zedekiah, king of Judah, into the hands of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, the enemy who wanted to kill him. He said, try me. Try me right now. I'm not the one. You surely going to know it's me, the Lord, when I lay these hands. Period. Whether you want to listen or believe it or not. Who are you following? Who are you submitting to? I hope you get this message because God is not playing. Now, I'm saying things that I didn't know. So, God is not playing with you. Period. I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm not going to sit here and kiss your foot. Not happening. I'm not telling you nothing that you want to hear. I know you don't want to hear this. Shoot, I don't want to hear it. But I'm going to listen because I want to make sure that I'm submitting and following the Lord. Period. It's nothing that no man can give me that the Lord can. So take heed. Hear me. Please. Remove your own thoughts and defensiveness towards what I said. Take a deep breath. All I'm saying in a nutshell is, even if it seems like it doesn't make sense or whatever, God said our thoughts are not his thoughts. Our ways are not his ways. I told y'all how I thought that I was on the right path. I was getting a job. I was working, all of this. I thought that I was doing it the right way, but I wasn't doing it Yahweh. So we have to learn Yahweh's. And we have to, but the only way to learn Yahweh is to get into his word and to do Yahweh his way. And we're submitting to others when we do not do it God's way. We're submitting to their way when we refuse to do it his way. So you're following, whether you want to admit it or not. So we don't want to continue to follow and submit to their ways and the ways that they are saying, and what they are saying, good is evil and evil is good. We cannot do that. So on that note, on a lighter note, I will be vending on what they call Halloween and selling products. My products, as I always do with my children. I may split my time with their father since it is, but other than that, I will be selling products. So if you go to Ola's Southern Cuisine, you will see me there on Halloween, and you'll be able to get some good food. So you'll be able to shop for your Christmas items, godly Christmas items, and get some great soul food, honey. They have the best soul food, seafood, soul food, and seafood. So, honey, you can shop and then eat, go in and eat. You can't beat that. So, this weekend I will be at Ola's Southern Cuisine. So you don't want to miss it. You want to stay tuned and tune in to there and go there. And I didn't say all that for y'all to, because my needs will be supplied. I just want to help y'all because I had my kids trick or treating for many years. I recently stopped when I came into the truth and the light, and I listened. So that's all I'm telling you guys. I'm not judging you guys because I was doing it. Because the churches was doing it. So I decided, I thought that was okay with God until I got into his word, until I follow and submit and receive him. So if we continue to follow these other things, we're surely going to perish. So we do not want to bring this on. We don't want to provoke his wrath on ourselves. He said, why would you want to do this? Why? Is it worth you trick-or-treating to get them hands from God? It's not worth all of that. We can start making our own stuff. This pandemic should have showed you some of your gifts, some of the things you like to do. We can start creating our own things that are godly, that is of God. We don't have to trick-or-treat and do this demonic stuff and submit to their ways. We can start making our own stuff with God and being directed by God and seeing what God wants us to do. I'm bending on this day. I don't know what he's going to have me to do the future ones, but this one I'm bending. But we can do other stuff. We can, have, nights where we are able to just talk and be real with each other and learn from one another. On the nights where everybody else is doing these worldly things, we can, start a new trend. I'm a leader. So honey, he made me this way. So I'm never going to follow the ways of the world, knowingly if it's against God. So I'm not judging y'all because I said that I did it. Everybody knows I got pictures of it. But we just need to submit and follow him. That's it. I'm not trying to, I'm just trying to tell you what it is, what the Lord says. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it either because I'm not getting in trouble. So that's what the Lord said. He will destroy you. That's what's going to happen if you do not follow and submit. That's all he wants. That's all you have to do is just start giving your best to God. That's it. Your best. Your best. And you know what your best is. So, the best that you give to your job or whoever, your man, your woman, keep that same energy and give it to God and give him more. That's all he's saying. He wants you to just turn from it. He wants to truly bless you. He wants to truly heal you. He wants to truly make you happy. This fake happiness, this fake smile stuff ain't working. Everybody see it's like, but honey, I'm talking about my Father, you hear it. It's like, yes. So there's a difference in my smile. So I'm just saying, I hope you can hear me. I hope you pay attention. I hope you listening, sweethearts. Because this ain't what you want. You don't want them hands. Ain't nobody on this earth. They can't do what God do. That's why I let him deal with my adversaries. Because I'm like, ooh. You may look at me like, oh, she's so small she couldn't. I don't have to. I don't have to. Sweetheart. So, I hope you guys take heed and listen. Now, I did tell y'all, if y'all listened, that I will also end it off with another spin wheel and give y'all the question. Now, I'm going to do the spin wheel again. And let's see, and then I'm going to give y'all the question. Since y'all stayed the course almost an hour and a half. Dang, can y'all see it? This light is so bright. All right, so whoever it is will receive a free journal. I wonder if I have it back here. Can y'all see it? It says a free journal. It's still bright for some reason. But you will receive a free journal. So I'm gonna do a bonus. If you do answer this question, you'll receive the journal and the mug. So free. And you can come to Ola Southern Cuisine and answer that question and get it. While others will pay. So Wow. Okay, so tell me, read Jeremiah. He said, read Jeremiah 44. The 44. Okay, read Jeremiah, the 44th chapter. The whole chapter, like we just read, on your own. And tell me the message that you received from that. I told you the message that God gave me, but I think God is wanting me to see something different. So I need you to tell me your revelation on what you received when you read it on your own in your own time. And there's no judgment, no right or wrong. I just would like you to send in your response, and you will get the free journal and mug. And there will only be one winner. So whoever turns in theirs first will receive it. So thanks again, guys. Let's go beyond the cover. And I'm going to end it off with this video.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance.